right, so picture this. Kids stranded outside in the heat, waiting for a ride, not sure if or when it'll even show up. Tiffany Lane has the worries of parents in a News 3 education project.
Imagine being a child stuck on a sidewalk waiting, wondering when that yellow bus could turn the corner. Well, that's a reality for many kids right here where we live.
An hour on hold for Clark County Transportation.
Clark County bus bosses getting the call from frustrated parents, but nobody is picking up.
Nobody answers, and when they do, they're like, oh, well, we're having an issue, so please just, be patient. Okay, well, that doesn't tell me if somebody's with my kid.
That's Tony, a parent whose child depends on a ride to school. He says the bus is late at least once a week, and text alerts prove it.
Because you have to throw off your schedule and all that kind of stuff. Kids are just waiting outside, in the mornings on the bus. And it's Vegas during the summertime. It's still pretty warm in the mornings. It's already 90-something degrees out.
That is definitely what we're hearing. And especially special education busing, those parents are getting more and more irate.
Nevada Parent-Teacher Association President Rebecca Garcia has heard similar issues from other district families, kids on the curb waiting for rides. Outside of health and safety concerns, Board of Trustees President Linda Cavasso says learning can also take a hit.
What we're then looking at is the loss of academic instructional time. And then that basically affects the teachers because the teachers are waiting for these kids to get there. And then what happens if those kids are falling behind because they've already missed the first half of class?
Right now, the district is short 234 drivers. Here are a few options they are looking at.
We are looking at ways to self-fund some retention and hiring incentives, but that has to be reviewed with the bargaining group and agreed upon.
Also considering consolidating bus routes.
Is they are really making a concerted effort to reach out to retired folks and through the different retiree associations, and also veterans. We have veterans that have expressed interest in doing this.
But Tony says whatever action is taken, it needs to happen soon.
We're trying to be patient. We're trying to be understanding, but it's, like you said, it's been a month already.
And there's no time frame on when more of those bus driver positions will be filled, but the clock is ticking, and parents don't want to worry if their kids are making it to and from school safely. But again, we'll continue to take those concerns to the district. But for now, I'd like to hear from more families experiencing similar busing issues. And parents, if you're comfortable, I'd like you to send me some of those pictures of your kids as they're waiting for their buses. School tips at news3lv.com. That's the email on the bottom of your screen, or you can call my tip line 702-805-0489.
All right, November 1st, that's the deadline for state employees to get vaccinated under the governor's latest directive.
Yeah, that means staff at Nevada prisons will have to get their shots or risk losing their jobs. So what's the plan? John Trainer is live in our studio with more on that.
The plan is there is no plan yet. Corrections officers have to get vaccinated. The Department of Corrections doesn't have that plan to get it done yet. Meanwhile, inmates watch their sentences get longer as this pandemic drags on. 4,000 inmates and over 1,000 staff have caught COVID since the beginning of the pandemic. Nearly 50 inmates have died. While staff at the Department of Corrections are out sick, others pick up their shifts. That overtime has cost the state $9 million. The numbers tell you the cost. The inmates will tell you what it was like inside. In letters written to family, inmates from across the state say this: "Since we've been on lockdown, the food portions have been cut. The servings are so small we spend most of our day hungry. Staff can't deliver the food and packages because there are so many of them out sick with COVID. We didn't do anything wrong. Why are we being punished?" Another writes, "Then there are more people that disappear without a word. Here one day, gone the next. I haven't seen a doctor in over 7 months." Jody Hawking is an advocate with Return Strong. She's also family to an inmate.
This was the mental impact on people is really disturbing. And I think where it connects for us now is at that point, there was a shortage of staff due to COVID.
Jody fears another staffing shortage is coming as the state has mandated all staff get a COVID vaccine. Just 43% are vaccinated now. Others have threatened to quit. because of the mandate. We asked the Department of Corrections for their vaccine plan. They couldn't interview with us. In an email, they write they are still drafting that plan, but have contingencies if staff leave. For Jody, there is a real cost. Not only are inmates getting sick,
They're still adding days.
their sentences are getting longer. No staff and no outside agencies mean programs have been canceled. And in Nevada, inmates who aren't taking programs get time added to their sentences.
If the governor is listening, I know a coalition of organizations that would love to sit down and have this conversation.
Time is also now ticking for the Department of Corrections. Again, November 1st, the deadline to get their employees vaccinated. Can they get their staff on board, or will they face walkouts and no-shows?
Extreme fatigue, just some of the symptoms that can linger for months after a COVID-19 diagnosis. And now students at UNLV are learning how to treat so-called long haulers. News 3's Denise Roche explains.
The UNLV occupational therapy program just began this semester. It's an area of study that typically deals with accident victims or maybe patients who've suffered a stroke. But COVID-19 is now adding to that curriculum.
On 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's training that's been in use for generations. Occupational therapists helping patients get back on their feet after a traumatic event.
Remember to apply the safety belt for transfer so you can have a better grip. 1, 2, 3.
Here inside this converted home on Shadow Lane, students with UNLV's brand new OT program practice on each other. The skills are universal.
They're helping Valerie learn how to cut when she only has mobility in just one arm.
It's the patients who are changing.
Every room you go into, it's a COVID diagnosis.
Christina Bastanabe is an assistant professor who also works in a local hospital.
A lot of these patients can't even sit at the edge of bed to brush their teeth without running out of air, without feeling that they're suffocating.
As of this week, Nevada has recorded over 400,000 cases of COVID-19. It's estimated up to 20% will suffer long-term symptoms, so-called long haulers, many in need of specialized care.
If you think of people who've been in bed, in a hospital bed, maybe on a ventilator for months, they get very deconditioned. They may have to learn how to walk again.
Program director Donna Costa says a bachelor's degree is required to enter the OT program. After 3 years, students graduate with a doctorate. 24-year-old Edeline Ignacio hopes to work right here in Nevada, helping people of all ages.
Kind of like kid exercises that you could hide as play.
And she knows that means more and more long-haul COVID patients.
My mom is a respiratory therapist, so I already know that there's a lot of respiratory issues, and I know that OT can help work with that.
This is only the second program of its kind in Nevada, a state with a definite shortage of occupational therapists, even as the patient load continues to grow.
This is something that they might encounter. Many occupational therapists do home health care.
And COVID-19 changes the way the healthcare field responds.
Hi everybody, I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.